Greetings, I'm your host, Dr. Wolfula, with a surprise review of Turbo Kid from 2015, just in time for Valentine's Day. What does this film have to do with Valentine's Day? Well, a fan by the name of Jane Hale requested this review for her husband Nate as a Valentine's Day gift, and never one to deny an opportunity to unite true love through my videos. I had to oblige. Also, I already had the movie on Blu-ray from an old horror block, and it gave me an excuse to rewatch the movie anyway. Happy early Valentine's Day, Jane and Nate. On to the review. Now, Turbo Kid isn't really a horror flick, unless you're frightened of Canadians. It's actually a post-apocalyptic action flick with a dose of comedy thrown in the mix, but given the setting, it still has a lot of the hallmarks of a horror flick, namely a lot of dark, twisted violence. The film takes place in a post-apocalyptic 1997, which is a pretty obvious Escape from New York reference.
This is the future. This is the year 1997.
In typical Western fashion, the main character, played by Monroe Chambers, has no name and is only referred to as the Kid, and he lives out in the wasteland as a scavenging cyclist, searching for any old junk that he can trade for clean water, a scarcity due to the tyrannical rule of a local despot named Zeus, played by the inimitable Michael Ironside, and his right-hand man, the masked Skeletron, played by Edwin Wright.
Try not to see this as punishment, but rather an opportunity to prove your usefulness in these difficult times.
The Kid's life is turned upside down, though, when he encounters a manic pixie dream girl of the wasteland who only goes by the name Apple, played by Lawrence LaBouffe.
Are you alone? Do you have any friends? Do you want to play hide and seek?
The Kid is initially really hesitant to hang out with somebody so quirky, but eventually he becomes attached to the bubbly gal, which gives him ample motivation when Zeus's men kidnap her. Whilst attempting to flee, the Kid comes across an old-world cache that contains the corpse of Turbo Rider, a pre-war superhero that the Kid idolizes. The Kid dons the suit, which comes equipped with a wrist-mounted laser weapon, which is a big deal in a world where using a bat with a garden gnome taped on is considered a valid weapon. From here, the Kid, now known as Turbo Kid, has to take on the evil dictator of the wasteland, Zeus, with the help of the mysterious Apple and a cowboy arm wrestling champion named Frederick.
You can't just walk into a man's personal bubble.
Is what?
A man's personal space. The arm-length radius, yeah? My motherfucking comfort zone.
The premise and plot of Turbo Kid is solid and endearing. There's a lot of pathos to the main character. He's got that classic Star Wars hero's journey thing going for him in spades, and it really does feel like an all-ages adventure film that just happens to have a lot of gore. The dark, ruined world contrasts really well with the childlike innocence of the Kid and Apple. It's almost as if this is what Mad Max would be if it was an 80s made-for-TV movie on ABC. Turbo Kid is a mishmash pastiche of various 70s and 80s influences, from sci-fi with the Tron-like uniform of the Kid, to the classic post-apocalyptic with the Road Warrior-esque villains, and to the spaghetti western with the film's world-weary mentor figure.
Ladies?
The film manages to blend all these influences together well. It's a flick that's both nostalgic and unique, while still having some surprises and subversions along the way.
And who exactly are you supposed to be?
I'm a superhero.
Though I do gotta say, no spoilers, but the third act kinda delves into some terrain that feels goofy even for a tongue-in-cheek movie like this, and then ends on a bit of a bummer note, which I suppose is typical for the post-apocalyptic genre, but it just felt like a questionable thing to do when there's a sequel hook. Minor complaints aside, Turbo Kid's story is a great fun time, and that's certainly helped by the performances. Monroe Chambers is likable as the Kid, who acts as a perfect straight man to his love interest foil, Apple.
Strike first. Always surprise your enemy. Strike hard. Always remember the weak points of the human body. Eyes, throat, genitals.
Okay.
And show no mercy. So, you know, show no mercy.
Lawrence LaBouffe is the standout in Turbo Kid, playing a memorable character with an interesting twist that I'd rather not spoil. Suffice it to say that she brings an interesting approach to playing that character, which is both cute and funny.
But you could totally be Turbo Kid.
Michael Ironside is a great villain, which is no surprise. It's really all in that sinister, dark side, raspy voice and his trademark halting delivery. He can't not do a good job.
Such a rude individual.
A weakness in the cast to me is Aaron Jeffrey as Frederick, and it mostly only has to do with the way he's written. The guy sort of enters and exits the plot at certain points and doesn't feel like he has a solid place in this story. I think the character maybe should have been reworked to make him closer to the main character and accentuate his mentor-like role, which ends up kind of being filled by Apple for some reason.
Man never knows how strong he is until being strong is the only choice he has.
Really?
I don't know, kid. That sounds good.
Visually, Turbo Kid is stunning and impressive. It captures the vibe and aesthetic of a classic apocalypse film through its desolate world and stands as a great example of how to use locations that are available to you as a filmmaker. Old dilapidated construction areas and scrapyards go a long way in selling the look. The production design that's there is great though, especially the costume design. Turbo Kid's suit is such a nice, cheesy looking 80s superhero costume that feels colorfully out of place against the really cool pieced together outfits of Zeus's underlings. The post-apocalyptic setting is done pretty damn well, but something that feels missing with it is mutants or zombies. There aren't even any characters in this world with defects or deformities or anything like that. It feels like this wasteland should have more of an inherent danger to it that makes it feel like a hostile world besides just having raiders. I think having some more monsters populating the world would really help sell the wasteland as a terrifying place to live in and survival an exciting thing to witness, but the film does say that this part of the wasteland isn't the worst part, so maybe there's potential in a sequel. Making up for a lack of monsters is a lot of over-the-top violence and gore though. There's a ton of blood throughout and a lot of really ingenious effects that make the action fun to watch. The only weakness with the effects are some digital effects that clash a bit with the practical effects. Overall though, Turbo Kid with its solid story, memorable characters, stunning effects, and punchy 80s synth score does wonders as a nostalgic trip through the apocalypse with very few hitches along the way. I definitely recommend a viewing of this flick highly. I give Turbo Kid a gnome baseball bat out of Michael Ironside voice. Happy early Valentine's Day again, Nate and Jane, you two lovebirds. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, like it, and if you loved it, subscribe for more and click the bell icon to find out when my latest vids and streams go live. Want a double dose of Dr. Wolfula? Donate to my Patreon and you'll get bonus content for supporting the channel, including exclusive movie streams and commentaries weekly. Be sure to also give me a visit in the free Popbase app to hang out in a virtual Wolfulair, complete with horror quizzes and bonus vids. Link in the description to download for iOS and Android. I'd like to give a special thanks to my true Wolfulite supporters on Patreon and my channel memberships for their pledges. Their support helps keep the channel going after all these years. Thank you guys. Alrighty, Dr. Wolfula signing out. See you all next time.